Welcome back to the Personal Foul Podcast. We are back, episode 7. New host here, Ethan Allen, Ball State University's finest. What's up, man? Let's introduce yourself. Let the people know what they're getting into with you.
For sure, yeah. Obviously, Ethan Allen, 5th year here at Ball State, not by choice. Grew up playing sports. Actually got into esports when I got to Ball State. Couldn't hang with the big boys up in college, but yeah, played baseball, basketball, football. Yeah, pretty much everything. But I'm a media major here over at Ball State.
Hell yeah. Ethan, give me a breakdown of what squads you like so we know where the biases come from.
So, Seahawks fan from my dad, unfortunately. And then pretty much everything else is Chicago. So, Bulls, White Sox. Wrong side of Chicago, I know, from you.
Yeah.
And then if we're getting like hockey and stuff, I guess Blackhawks. But I'll pretty much root for any Chicago and Seattle team.
Yep. And then big Notre Dame guy as well. So we definitely have a Notre Dame bias on this show, which is a great thing to have. Go Irish.
Great
Hate
school.
the Buckeyes right now. Great school.
Yeah.
Great school. Tough loss there recently, but you know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It happened. I mean,
yeah.
We knew going into it was going to be a shootout. Unfortunately, we're on the wrong side of that workout, but
oh, dude,
yeah,
I'm still bothered by it.
As a Notre Dame fan, I mean, we all saw it coming.
Yeah,
I mean, we can sit there and hope, but not much we can do.
Hope didn't get us far in that one.
No, it did not. I mean, that was a hell of a team too, Ohio State. I mean, what did they say, $20 million roster? Like, that's always going to be a tough game, and I mean, at least we came back at the end. I was happy to see that, but.
Yeah, those boys were up to some different stuff. Yeah,
wish we could have covered the spread at least, but
for real. Came close, bro. Wanted to cover that 8.5 bad.
I mean, playing cover 0 over Jeremiah Smith at the end there, like
sending 7
for it. Yeah,
sending 7, putting Jeremiah Smith on
best, I'm pretty sure Gray was on him too. That's like our best corner, and just he's a good ass ball player.
Yeah,
hard to cover.
That play is gonna play in my mind for a long time.
It was tough, yeah. I was definitely.
Just a reminder from me, huge Cubs fan. Like you said, that'll be fun during the baseball season, talking Cubs, White Sox.
Wish our teams were a little better.
Yeah.
At least your team's a little better.
It'll make it more fun, though, because our teams are bottom-tier teams at the moment.
No, shit.
Cubs are looking to make a little push, but picking up old closers, and I don't know what they're doing. But, yeah, for me, Cubs, Browns, Red Wings, Pistons, and Notre Dame, yeah.
Yep.
Heck yeah, man. Go Irish. At least we can agree on that.
No.
But let's hop into NFL Conference Championships. Super excited for this. We're going to start with Bills and Chiefs. The Chiefs are 2-point favorites. What do you think of that, coming off that last game between the Bills and Chiefs?
Yeah, 2.5. I mean, it seems high, right? Because Bills beat them earlier in the year. Obviously at Arrowhead. I think their first game was at Buffalo, right?
I believe so, yes.
Pretty sure, yeah. So, I mean, we know the Chiefs, like the dark magic, all that shit. I really feel like this is the year. If there's any year to do it, it's right now. The Bills. I mean, obviously you got an MVP caliber player, Josh Allen, leading the helm against obviously the potentially best quarterback of all time. I'm rooting for the Bills. I would hate to see the Chiefs try to repeat, but it's a tough one. I feel like Bills can definitely cover. I don't know if they win though. I feel like it'll be a really close game, maybe low scoring.
I have the exact opposite. I have high scoring.
Really?
Just offense is on fire. I feel like both teams, Chiefs defense is top tier. Don't get me wrong. They are a great defensive team. But the first time we played, we seen a 30-21 game. And granted, Mahomes threw 2 picks. I think that's the last interception he threw was on November 17th when they played. He threw 2 in that game, and he hasn't thrown 1 since. So the Chiefs are going to do what the Chiefs do. So
definitely. And I feel like Mahomes, like, obviously he's playing like he does, but you know, the passing yards aren't really there all the time. I think, what, he had like 160 last week, something like that.
Because I had 199.5 on the over. and dude threw for like 160, 170. I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah, like my mind thinks the Chiefs just got it because they always got it. But like I said, if there's any year for the Bills to finally break the curse and beat them in the playoffs, it's this year. Like they got the roster to do it. I could also see high scoring. I just feel like if the Chiefs just lock them down, the Bills will do the same. Obviously, it's gonna be a close game regardless. I don't think there's a blowout either way brewing. Maybe a touchdown game, maybe. But hopefully Mahomes doesn't get the ball with like a minute 30 left in a timeout. Yeah, that'll definitely be the end of the Bills.
Yeah, I was doing some research before we got on here, and definitely my key to the game was don't let it be close late with Mahomes having the ball. That's the one cannot happen. Some things going over just the last time they played, Mahomes had 2 interceptions like we mentioned. Last time he's thrown an interception was November 17th in that game. And then the Bills had 3 wide receivers over 50 yards. Kind of established the run game early, and then Allen just started spinning it to pretty much whoever he wanted to.
Yeah, and when you got the duo of obviously Josh Allen on the QB powers and James Cook in the backfield, I mean, it's kind of hard to stop that. So yeah, they definitely got to establish that earlier, else Chiefs are just going to do Chief things, unfortunately, for everyone.
And the big part about last time they played was the Bills' defense outplayed the Chiefs' defense, and that was a huge part of that game. Chiefs had 0 sacks, 0 interceptions. Bills had 3 sacks, 2 interceptions. You're going to win a lot of games when the box score looks like that in favor of your defense. But what are some upside for the Chiefs? What's an upside for them?
Well, I mean, obviously, just their team in general, like when only losing 2 games this season, one of them being a Week 18 that didn't matter at all to get the 1 seed. So obviously they got that advantage. Like you mentioned, their defense. I mean, just pressuring Josh Allen because both of these quarterbacks in this game, honestly, like obviously you think of Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, they're the best in the game, right? They're 1 and 2. What I've noticed a lot watching them is if they're really pressured, and because you see them make those crazy plays, like Mahomes does the diving pass and all that. And if you force them into those situations, yes, sometimes they will burn you with like the crazy plays, but also like don't let them get in a rhythm. I mean, making those 10-yard outs every play, the check down, like that just gets a quarterback in a rhythm. So then they can take the shot or take the stupid on the run throw.
Right.
So I think as long as both defensive lines are playing good and can pressure quarterbacks, make them make stupid plays pretty much, I mean, you'll win those stupid plays 9 out of 10 times. Like, obviously, you'll get burned occasionally, but as long as you force him to do that stupid shit, I mean,
right,
you're looking at potential turnover.
So my biggest upside for the Chiefs, I have 3 of them right now. They just win. That's the biggest part. Is they find a way, like you said, that black magic stuff that they always do is just become ridiculous at this point, to where it's starting to bug me. I'm becoming a hater of how good they are, and I just can't stand Mahomes and Kelsey anymore. You see them on TV every time a commercial comes on.
Every damn time.
They go score a touchdown, and then you see Mahomes and Kelsey 3 more times in a State Farm commercial. And I'm like, I'm tired of this
shit.
Yeah, I'm over it. And then another big thing they have is just Arrowhead Stadium. Like, that place is going to be crowded. They're going to be loud. They don't care what the weather looks like. I think it's supposed to be 40 degrees regardless over there. But they do not care regardless. It's going to be hell for the Bills early. And then my last one is just they have all the bulletin board material that you can get. Everybody hates them. No one wants them to three-peat. People are pissed at the Taylor Swift being on the TV all the time. Think like everybody's just saying how good they are, kind of thing, and that can form bulletin board material as well. When people are just so high on you, and you're like, we got to do it, kind of thing, like it kind of gives you a bit of confidence, a bit of want, kind of thing, and that's what I'm excited to see.
And people always talk about like when you go in as an underdog, it's like, no one believes in us, like we can do this, and that usually sparks a fire in some teams. But I think kind of what you said, like the opposite is true as well. Like no one wants the Chiefs to win. No one wants to believe they can win because they're the best and they're about a three-peat potentially. So yeah, I could definitely see that coming into play.
Yeah, and then some upside I have for the Bills in this one. Just develop a run game. If you develop a run game like you did the last time, it opens up Shakir, Cooper, Kincaid, anything you want, really, just on the outsides. Once you establish that run game with Josh Allen, he's minus 125 to be an anytime touchdown scorer. That's a lock every week, it feels.
How about that? Yeah, that's
like,
definitely a lock.
You got 2 last week. Like,
yeah,
people were calling for it and call for it early, and you get 2 of them early for you. And it's just, it feels like it's a lock every time. Allen's going to run the ball. Big body quarterback who will put his shoulder down. Just develop a run game. And then once you develop that run game, once you start spinning it, you got to be successful when you throw it. That's the big upside for the Bills. They have an opportunity to just completely open up the playbook here because they have people at all levels that can really be successful for them.
Yeah, and Josh Allen, at least during the first half of the season, was like, I don't think he had a single pick until pretty late in. He might have slipped up a little bit towards the down the stretch, but and we saw in that Notre Dame game, that first drive, like how Riley Leonard just ran the ball. I mean, all you got to do is get 3 to 4 yards carry. That's all you have to do. And with a guy like Josh Allen, I feel like that's very easy. And then, you got James Cook as well. They could easily do that. Just develop a run game, get away with it. And then, you have potentially the MVP at quarterback to fling it around.
Yeah, it's just, there's opportunities for both teams to see a ton of success in this one. And it's just whose defense is going to play better. That's what's going to determine this game.
That is what's going to come down to. 100%.
Whose defense is going to play better? Who's going to be able to stop the run? I mean, the Chiefs' run game has got them far this season. We've seen them win a game. Mahomes only thrown for 160-some yards. Like, you don't think about it, but they can tote it too. And then
they kind of locked up the Ravens too with their defense. Like, I mean, Lamar had a turnover. Mark Andrews even fumbled the ball. Like, and they force those turnovers, and that's a huge part in just winning the field position battle.
Right, and some downside I had for this one. In my notes, I have Chiefs. No. They're
yeah.
And it just, I'm tired of it. I'm trying to jinx it a little bit. Like, trying to praise it as much as I can to jinx it, but none. They're so good on all levels of the field, offense, defense. Mahomes is probably going to catch Tom Brady at some point, as much as it hurts. Like, in his 5th Super Bowl already, looking to three-peat if he wins this year. If he wins this game, it's his 5th Super Bowl. Looking for like, come on.
How old is he? Like 29?
29 years old.
Yeah, I know your dad's a big Tom Brady guy. I think you are as well.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, if he three-peats, it's going to be a very 50-50 discussion. I think
it's going to be a hard argument for me. It's going to be a hard argument. And then some downside for the Bills is just their injury report. It's long. Yeah. It's a laundry list of injuries, and a lot of it's on that defensive side. We've seen some guys step up last week, make some big plays for them, and it's just whose defense. That's what we keep preaching, whose defense. And then another huge downside is just that stadium, like we mentioned. It's hard to play in there. It's hard for the Chiefs to lose in there.
Especially a night game. I mean, the Chiefs fans thrive off that. It's going to be loud.
Yeah. So let's close up on this game. I need a score prediction from you for this game.
Okay. I think it's going to be in like the 20 range. I don't think too low scoring, but I also don't think it's going to be a shootout. I'm going to say 24-21 Bills.
I like that a lot. It makes, if I'm just predicting it, like a who I want to win situation, I'd say I think it's going to be close. Like, it just 35-31 Bills.
Okay.
And
I don't see a lot of field goals. I feel like both of these teams are just going to get into the end zone, but I don't also think they're gonna score too much, like whether like 3 touchdowns each. I can see that.
I think 35-31 Bills score late to win to get that 35 point. That's what I want to happen. In reality, I'm guessing 28-21 Chiefs. That's what I'll say on the backside of that.
I could see that.
Yeah. Let's move to the NFC now.
Yep.
Eagles and Commanders. I'm juiced for this game.
This is the one I think it's going to be a really good game. My thought process early, just when the spread opened up, it's at -6 right now on ESPN Bet. I'm not sure about the other books, but I feel like that's just way too high. Because my roommate's a big Eagles fan, and every week they play some team, and I'm like, yeah, I feel like the Eagles are going to kill them. I mean, their run game's just way too good. They're blocking, like everything's just way too good, and it's never really a blowout. Like they'll win games by 10, but like it's kind of close the whole game. And when I saw this open up at 6, I just thought it's either Eagles could get the blowout, but I also could just see a shootout. I mean, this Commanders offense, like, hey, they just score points, don't punt. They just score.
It's the Commanders offense is one of my favorites in the game right now. Because
they're fun.
Daniels will spin it. He will run for however many. And then you get to see Terry McLaurin just light it up like he was supposed to in the NFL. He's been great on bad Washington football teams. And now, just seeing him have success, seeing him just ball every week has been so, like that little screen pass he caught for a touchdown against the Lions, that was ridiculous, dude. And it's just pure speed.
I always think about that, 90-yard touchdown he had against the Cowboys. And that felt crazy. He trolled my last week of fantasy, but he's had a hell of a season. I could totally see this being a shootout. Like the over right now is at 47. I easily think that's going over.
Right. I'm a bias to the Commanders because of Terry McLaurin, dude. I remember.
Yeah.
This is throwing it back, man. 2012 state championship, Indiana, Mishawaka versus Cathedral. Terry McLaurin took Mishawaka to town, dude.
I didn't know he went to Cathedral.
Yeah, he went to Cathedral, played Mishawaka in the state championship in 2012.
Wow.
Just beat the brakes off them boys. That was like the first heartbreaking loss I had in my life. I would have been 10 and went down and watched Mishawaka play in the state title game. And there was this boy named Terry McLaurin that crushed my dreams.
Having a field day.
Yeah. Have you seen the line for Saquon Barkley yet?
No, I'm sure it's high.
125.5.
Holy God.
Yeah.
See, I took a couple weeks ago, my roommate Lucas was like, dude, Smasher's under. Like, he's not running the ball today. Like, we're not doing anything. He hit it in the first fucking half. It was just ridiculous. It wasn't even a chance.
Yeah, no.
And
go ahead.
I mean, I feel like there's not a lot of defense going to be playing this game. Like, obviously, Eagles have great secondary, all that.
Right.
But that's why I do think it could be a blowout. I think Eagles do have a really good defense against Commanders' offense, but also, like, I feel like Commanders just find a way to score all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, the Commanders do have a pretty decent defense, but, I mean, stopping that run game's going to be tough. Hopefully my boy Bobby Wagner can come through, but
the hard part is about this one. The Eagles have the best running back in football right now. There's no argument to it. Henry had a great year. He's probably 2. And there's no one is a clear-cut Saquon Barkley this year. Commanders have the 30th run defense in the NFL. Yeah, they give up 138 a game on the ground on average. So Saquon at 125.5 might not be ridiculous.
How about to go smash that right now? That's crazy.
Yeah. And then the last time they played, you talked about the Eagles defense. The Eagles defense is probably my A1 in football. Between the defensive backs they have there, DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, Blankenship, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and then you got Zach Bonnet, linebacker. And then
Lucas calls Quinyon Mitchell Guantanamo Bay. Says he puts him on an island.
Puts him on an island. Did you see he walked into that sweatshirt?
Yeah. Yeah. That's just so fucking fun.
Dude.
Lucas got himself a Kelly Green Cooper DeJean jersey. He always wears it when they're playing.
One of those exciting whites they got back there.
Exciting white. He's a fun guy. I hope he gets a pick soon, man. He's been flirting with it a lot from the games I've watched. But
they've just been playing such good defense between all those guys.
But
the thing is, the last time they played, they didn't have C.J. Gardner-Johnson because he got thrown out in the first quarter for pretty much just talking shit. Like, that's all it was.
He wasn't doing much.
No.
And they had Kenny starting, right?
Yeah. No, well, Hurt started. He got hurt. That's when the injury started. Okay. And then Pickett came in.
Kenny came in.
But yeah, C.J. Gardner-Johnson was just like talking shit, got punched in the face, and then he got thrown out. So I don't know what he said, but it must have been ridiculous because he's one that got tossed. So
yeah,
I think that game's hard to go off of. Commanders got the 34-28. No, excuse me.
It was a close game, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think it was a 3-point game. I think it was like 33-30 or something weird. 34-31. They
scored at like the very end or something, right?
Yeah. So some stats from that game. Jaden Daniels hooped in that game. He had 258 and 5 touchdowns. He had 5 touchdowns in that game. 258 yards passing. And then the man we've been talking about this whole time, Saquon Barkley, against that Commanders defense went for 150 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to do it again.
Well, and after watching that Lions game, for clear transparency, I was not watching most of it. I was pretty drunk at the casino. But, I mean, just seeing the score, like, I know the Lions are banged up, but, I mean, their defense, when healthy, is one of the best in the league. And for the Commanders, they put up like 40-some?
Yeah.
Like, something
41,
insane.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, and banged up defense, sure. But, I mean, that many points against a pretty decent defense, I really do think this is going to be a shootout. Or at least I'm hoping so.
I pray it's a shootout because I need it bad. I need a tight game. I want the Commanders to go to the Super Bowl so bad. I'm hopped on the Jaden Daniels bandwagon. Oh, yeah. I'm also a big fan of Pardon My Take, and I need it for my boy PFT. Need it for my boy PFT.
I was going to say, he probably hasn't seen too much win.
No. They feel like the Browns, like what the Browns could have been. Like, that's how I'm kind of seeing in my mind. Like, shit franchise, bad ownership in the past, little success, like in
all this
past,
Dan
like,
Quinn shit coming out. I don't know if you've seen all that. Yeah.
No,
he's pissed, apparently. Apparently, he's just pissed that they're winning. Like, I forget the exact quote, but he pretty much was just getting salty about how they're really good now after he sold.
Oh, Dan Snyder. Dan Snyder, though.
Dan Snyder. Sorry, I said Dan Quinn. Yeah.
I was like, damn, the head coach is pissed they're winning. No, I'm hearing you now. Okay.
Snyder,
I was like, yeah, no. Dude, Dan Snyder, he tried to kill that franchise. That's like all he did.
I feel like at that point, like after you sell and then they go crazy and they start winning, it's like maybe you were the problem. Like you can just sit there and act like you weren't.
Immediate turnaround. Just
immediate. Yeah. Like I'm sure their win total this year was only probably like 5.5, 6.5. Like no one could have expected this out of the gates.
And it's fun to watch. They are a fun team to watch. It's exciting when you see guys that you've enjoyed in the past find success on the same team they've been on. Like guys like Terry McLaurin. You see De'Ami Brown come in.
Yeah.
You just saw on Honor St. Brown's podcast him talking shit about De'Ami Brown. What does a De'Ami Brown go do against the Lions? Goes outplays him by miles. Then that dude, I'm excited to see this game. I'm 10 times more excited for this game than the Chiefs and Bills because I know the Chiefs and Bills game is just going to piss me off.
I'm happy for Bobby Wagner. That's my boy.
Right.
Sad Seattle let him go, but I mean, he's making his way on the Commanders right now.
Let's hop into some upside downside for these fellas for this game. I'm going to start with the Commanders. And like I said just a second ago, De'Ami Brown. I am a fan. He's coming alive. Honor St. Brown probably lit a little bit of a fire under his ass. And he's playing good football. Last week he had 98 yards, 6 catches. We're seeing what he was supposed to be now. I also have Terry McLaurin just being Terry McLaurin. Had a hell of a year. Over 1,000 yards, 13 touchdowns. And I think they've I don't know if they're going to win it this year. I don't know if this is a year for the Commanders, but I think that window is really starting to open up for them.
Yeah, for sure. One upside I have, I think going into this game, obviously all the film's going to think, oh, Jane Daniels passing the ball all the time. But honestly, their running game's pretty good. Jane Daniels actually this postseason leads the team in carries. Not a lot of yards, but if they can just get that running game going and just open up the passing lanes, kind of like what we said with the Bills Chiefs, I think it'd be Brian Robinson. You got back there, Austin Eckler. You got some good guys back there to run the ball.
One thing I will say about how they use their running back, it's kind of unconventional how they use it. I don't like the little swing passes to Eckler all the time on first down.
Yeah.
I think Eckler's lost a little bit of his juice. He was a great receiving back for the Chargers. And I haven't seen him really get loose this year. Like, I haven't been locked in on Commanders games all year, so I don't know for sure.
And I think Brian gets most of the touches back there.
Yeah.
But
they'll just swing it to Eckler.
Too.
Oh, yeah, no. He's had a heck of a year. That guy. When he came back, I was juiced. That intro he had was fire.
Many man.
Yeah.
I usually get him on my fantasy team every year, and he's pretty reliable. He's never going to be like Saquon or anything, but
no, great flex decent guy to have. Great flex guy, number easily, 2 guy to have. He's going to score. He scores a ton. I mean, he doesn't break one loose, but he'll go fight for an extra 5 in the red zone and go get you some points. So, some upside for the Eagles I have is just that offensive line is Saquon Barkley. Those dudes they've done it this year and shown you how good they are. They lose maybe the best center to ever play the game and then come back and have a better year rushing.
And when you put a running back like Saquon behind that good of an offensive line, I mean, they're doing the job for him damn near, and he just got to break away.
Yep.
And he does break away.
That boy gets loose, dude.
Yeah.
I read this thing that he had the 150 last time they played, but if you take away his breakaway runs that are like, I think it was like, if you take away his 40-plus yard breakaways, he only averaged like 2 yards a carry last time versus the Commanders. But he had 150.
I'm about to say, he's just dangerous. Like, the one run he had last week, he made one guy miss, just hit him with a simple like sidestep, and there was just no one catching him. The safety wasn't in position.
There wasn't anybody within 30 yards of him.
Yeah, he's fast as shit.
It looks like he's at Penn State.
I don't know how he does it. Yeah,
like he makes it look easy again. On the Giants, he was great on the Giants, but he had no help. It was they're playing 1 versus 11 with just 10 more bodies on his side of the ball. But now, good God, that dude can play. And then another upside for the Eagles I have is just the defense they have. Yeah. Jalen Carter, Zach Bond, the exciting whites in the back, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Darius Slay. Like, they got it everywhere. They're top to bottom a good team. And as much as I want the Commanders to win, I think it's slim. I think it's real slim. Especially the Commanders. Best offensive lineman hurt. 30th ranked run D in the NFL. And then they messed up bad. They put Commander's gear on the Rocky statue last night.
Yeah, that's messed up. Can't be doing that.
They cooked themselves.
Yeah.
The one thing you can't do to Philly.
It's like all they got. I mean, besides the bell, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't be doing that.
You got any upsides, downsides for this other than what you said already?
I mean, pretty much kind of what you said. The Eagles having a great defense, I think will match up really good against the passing of Jaden Daniels. I do think they can't let Saquon bust out for a 150 again. If that happens, I don't know what they're going to do. Get to Hurts early. He's playing okay, but since the injury, he's whatever. People like to say he has CTE, but as long as I think if the Commanders can get to them, I think they'll have a good time, but they got to hold Philly to less than 150 yards or whatever Saquon had.
Yeah, I think if you shut down Saquon, you might win the ball game.
Yeah, but you got to go
all out. That's a large task. That's a large task. And you got to remember, Philly loves to choke in big games in the playoffs.
They do, yeah.
They love to lose in the playoffs. That's any sport you got. They can find a way to screw you out of some coin if you got money on it. So,
yeah,
dude, the Rams was tight.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was. I mean, they legit had a shot to win the game, or I think it was to tie it, but
yeah,
they had a shot down, and that's what I'm saying about like the spread here. Like, I feel like Philly's always in close games.
Yep.
Like they'll pull that out, but it's never a blowout.
Right. I 100% agree. So let's get a score prediction from you, and then we'll get to some quick hitter topics and run from that.
I'm thinking somewhere along the lines of like 35-31 Philly. I think Philly will pull it out, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than the books think.
I have 28-34 Commanders with a walk-off touchdown. We're not kicking the extra point to win. We're walking them off. So 34-28.
I like that.
Commies win. Heck yeah. Excited for that one. Let's get to some quick hitters. Just kind of we talked real serious ball there. That was like we were talking shop
That's what we were
numbers.
in there, yeah.
Yeah, no. So college football, I'm gonna hit on this a little bit. We'll go back to the playoff because I have a lot to say about that and a little bit pissed off, sour taste in my mouth about that. So I wanna have some fun here. The college football way too early top 25 is one of my favorite things because I love to grill it and just look at my own thoughts and who's coming back, who's leaving type of thing. My favorite thing about this is the whole top 10. I love the top 10 that ESPN made. I think it's fair. Let me find what it was. This is awful podcasting right now by me.
I want to pull up like their website just has it like all listed as a scroll. I wish I could just.
Yeah.
I think you can find it on Twitter maybe.
Yep, I'm on X right now. Yep. Okay, there it is. No, that's not the one I want. Of course not. There she is. Okay. So they got Ohio State 1, Texas 2, Penn State 3, Notre Dame 4, and Georgia 5. I think that's what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
Ohio State is not going to fall off anywhere. That's one of the best teams in the country.
Even if they lose Jeremiah Smith, like
he's not going nowhere.
I don't think he's going anywhere either.
They're going to find a bag for him somewhere. They're going to get him paid. And then Texas, you got Arch coming, and he is looking to hoop for Texas next year.
Yeah.
Penn State.
He's a really good player. I don't know. I feel like Texas will be good. Obviously, Arch, but I don't know. I feel like all these teams are just kind of yeah. I could see it.
You think? What did you say about all these teams? Go ahead, keep rolling with that.
Well, I feel like all these teams are just kind of like anyone could win. No one's like besides Ohio State now. Because like we were thinking about this Georgia last year. It was like, oh, Georgia's just gonna roll through everyone, and like they didn't.
Right.
I mean, they limped their way into the SEC championship. So I feel like Ohio State's really the team to beat here. I feel like all the other teams are just kind of 1A or 1B, you know?
Yeah. I think the NIL has kind of leveled the playing field here of these top teams. Sure. You saw that SEC bias was a thing forever. Like my whole life, there was an SEC bias, blah, blah, blah. Big Ten's starting to come now. And they're coming quick.
Oh, yeah.
Ohio State is a juggernaut.
Yeah. And Michigan looked really good at the end of the year, too. And they got that quarterback coming in. I don't know if he's going to play off the rip, but he's number 2 in the country.
Yeah, I think Penn State's gonna be.
They'll be up there.
They're gonna be a problem next year.
Yeah,
they got both running backs coming back that they had that just took Notre Dame's defensive line behind the woodshed for a while. Drew Aller's coming back.
Yeah,
they're gonna be good. Notre Dame's gonna be a question. Who's gonna play quarterback? Yeah. We'll talk more Notre Dame later. So who's playing QB there? And then Georgia is going to be damn good just because it's Georgia. And then Oregon comes in at 6. Their NIL fund's going to take them as far as they want to go.
Yeah, and I feel like for Oregon's case, like, I mean, they lost one game to the national champion. And like for them to fall to 6, I think that's a little crazy. Like, I think they should be up in the top 5. But I don't know.
Who do you take out? Who do you take out for Oregon then?
I would say Georgia just because who knows if Stenson Bennett's going to be him. Like,
yeah.
I mean, he had a decent game against Notre Dame. Like, people act like he was the reason Georgia lost. I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
Georgia's defense just didn't really play well. But yeah, I think Oregon deserves to be up there.
I'm looking at it now, trying to decide who I want to move for Oregon.
Well, some of these teams up here, dude, like, obviously I hate Brian Kelly, but, like, LSU at 8 seems kind of crazy.
Right.
Like, I mean, they might have people coming in that I don't know about, but I feel like Bama's a little low.
Oh, yeah. They're gonna figure it out. I think Illinois is high. Yeah. Illinois is high at 13. Way too. This is just bullshit. Too early stuff. That's the best part about it, though. We get to do this
exactly. Yeah, but like no one actually knows.
Yeah, I had 2 hates on my notes. I hate that Arizona State's at 14. I hate that Boise's at 24. Give those 2 running backs the credit they deserve for this year.
Yeah,
give
Boise was damn near. Freak. Yeah, both of them are kind of just one-man wrecking crews.
Yeah, and that's all it was. Give them the credit they deserve. They're not coming back with vengeance. They don't. They
Let's get another guy like that, but
Cam Scatabo he did it all for them.
Oh yeah, and that playoff game was electric watching him play.
There was games while he was at school at Arizona State, he was playing quarterback. Like he has statistics of him playing quarterback. He has done it all for them on offense. And it showed this year when he finally got to kind of get his name out there. And I don't know if he'll be a main guy in the NFL. I don't think that's ever what he's going to do. But I think he'll be good. He'll be on a team for sure.
Oh, I wouldn't mind if the Seahawks picked him up in the 3rd or 4th round.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be happy.
And then you got Boise State. I said I don't like that. Genty. Dude. That dude is one of the best I've ever seen play football.
Oh, yeah. I cannot believe he didn't win Heisman. I mean, shout out to Travis Hunter, but
yeah, dude, like Travis Hunter, if you're watching, shout out you, bro. That was cool. No, dude. I hated that. I hated Travis Hunter winning the Heisman. I think he was a mid-wide receiver and a decent DB. Like, did he play both sides of yeah.
And yeah, like obviously that's once in a lifetime kind of thing. Like you don't see people doing that all the time. But like, I mean, Genty was averaging like, I remember you telling me one week you were going to take his anytime touchdown. It was like minus 3,000.
There was one week they didn't even have a line.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, the dude was just unbelievable. He was their whole team. And it wasn't like he was just breaking out for runs. He was getting like 30 to 40 touches a game.
Yeah,
and
no, because
to have like that stamina back there and like be able to be a workhorse, like I think he could be good in the NFL. If he can keep that up, I mean, you would kill to have someone that can get 30 to 40 touches a game.
Would love to see him go to the Bears. Not a Bears fan, but root for him just because they're so close to home. Would love to see him go to the Bears. And
they got to fix that damn offensive line before they do anything.
That's a whole different story. No, but we watched the Boise State-Penn State game together at your house. And I was like, dude, I'm going to look at the Genty line, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to put some coin on it. And then I was like, there's no
line.
I can't. It was like minus like 900 something for him to score against Penn State. So, I don't know. That might have been an exaggeration, but it was ridiculous. And I ended up taking the 2 touchdown line that did not go. I think he had like they kind of boxed him up, but he's still at 100 yards. Yeah. He boxed up with 100 yards.
Because he gets so many damn carries. Like you get 30 carries. I mean, you're going to get 100 yards.
And then I had some likes on here. My likes, obviously, like I mentioned, the whole top 25, the whole top 5. I like the top 5 where it stands. I think it'll be very similar to when the first AP comes out before the season starts. I think it'll be very similar. But I like SMU at 15. Yeah, SMU, they have a huge NIL fund. They have guys that want to go there. Good spot being in Texas. They look like absolute shit in the playoffs. I'll talk about that later, too. That was the most embarrassing performance I've ever seen. Yeah. But then a little bias here being an Indiana boy, but IU at 17. Love it. They got another quarterback.
I mean, they deserve it.
Yeah. And people gave them so much slack about they don't belong in the playoff. They don't do this. They don't do that. They had 2 losses on the year, and they're both teams in national championship.
Yeah.
What more do you want to do?
And, I mean, as much as I hated Signetti going into that first Notre Dame game. I mean, yeah, he wins. That's what he does. Yeah. And, I mean, yeah, you can knock him for losing both those games, but also, like, I mean, if you're only 2 losses to the best 2 teams in the country, pretty good resume. Especially for a team like IU that historically hasn't been that good.
And you know he's going to work in that transfer portal. We saw it last year. He brought of James Madison to IU. He's a likable guy. We see him on game day every week, it seems like. Which
he's a talker.
I loved when Shane Gillis came on. It was like, you don't got everything straight, blah, blah, blah. I gave him crap for that in favor of Notre Dame, but I'm a fan of the shit talking. I love that.
Yeah, and especially when you back it up. I mean, that was my whole thing in high school baseball. It's not shit talk if you can back it up. Like, right. Confidence, not cockiness.
Exactly, and that dude is one of the most confident. Oh, so that's kind of my wrap on the whole top 25. You want to talk NBA All-Star Game? I'll let you lead this because this is kind of your realm.
Yeah, so obviously they just released the starters, haven't gotten to the reserves. We'll go through the list here. Western Conference, we got Curry, Durant, SGA, LeBron, and Jokic. On the Eastern side, Giannis, Brunson, Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, and Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns is kind of a surprise for me. I think it's mostly because Embiid hasn't really been playing. But he's been balling out, 25, 3, and 13, more like 14 rebounds a game. But, yeah, he's been balling. No, I think they pretty much got it right. I think SGA is a lock to win the MVP. Obviously, Braun, you got Durant, Curry. Curry's been playing out of his mind, too. Stats don't really show it, but he's been doing pretty good for the Warriors team.
Yeah, I think I'm biased, obviously. I said I'm a Pistons fan in the beginning. Where the hell is Cade Cunningham in the starting lineup for the East?
He's been balling out, too, especially with Ivy hurt. I mean...
Dude, what the hell are we doing?
I actually did think of one snub here. LaMelo's been balling out. I know Brunson, the Knicks have been playing really good. Donovan Mitchell as well. But, I mean, to have LaMelo was like, I think, third in overall voting for the East. Like, I think he was by far the number 1 guard. And to leave him out, it's kind of crazy to me. He'll definitely get a reserve spot. But
if Cade Cunningham doesn't get a reserve spot, I'm done watching. I'm done.
Well, I've already given up with the Bulls. I mean, we're stuck in mediocrity. We're never going to be a good team or a bad team. We'll just keep getting the 12th pick in the draft and draft nobodies. But
I'm back on the Pistons, man. I'm back. I was out for a long time.
They're a fun team to watch.
I'm back.
They're a really fun team to watch.
I am.
I feel like once the NFL dies down, I'll get way more back into basketball than I was. But the NBA ratings have been kind of bad.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
I saw that. Once the NFL ends, I get full swing into like spring training baseball and get super pumped for that and start like looking at what the Cubs are gonna do and all this other nonsense. But I watch like NBA playoffs, and if the Pistons are successful, I'll tune in. Like I remember the last time I watched a full Pistons game is when they had Blake Griffin in the regular season, just because that's when they were winning. But yeah, like I'll watch early in the year, and then they'll suck, and then. But now it's somewhat entertaining.
Yeah, they're sitting at 6th right now. That's better than the Bulls. Bulls are stuck in the play-in.
I think we're one game over 500.
2 games, but yeah,
2 games in the 6th spot.
I've been mostly following the Pacers just because as an Indiana guy, you know,
right.
I'm definitely more of a Bulls fan, but Pacers have been playing very good. I think Halliburton, at time of recording, has been going off in Paris.
Right.
But he's a fun guy to watch.
You remember the heartbreak we endured due to them?
Yeah.
Last year in the playoff, we watched that Celtics game together.
Yeah.
Oh, that was sad. My God, dude.
Celtics, honestly, though, the Cavs have been balling out this season. I don't know. Their team's pretty good. I feel like I'd still take the Celtics in a series right now, but.
So Celtics are your mid-season pick to...
Yeah, I mean, They're the Celtics, right? Like, if I'm picking a team from the West, definitely the Thunder, too. I mean, I feel like both of those teams, obviously by record, they're both 36-8, clear 6 games ahead of the next team. One surprise team, though, the Rockets. Watch out for them. A lot of young guys kind of been playing out there, 29-14 right now. They're playing really good. I could see them maybe making a run. But yeah, I think Thunder and Cavs are just kind of going to walk away with it. But more the Celtics than the Cavs.
You don't like the Lake Show?
No, not really. I mean, there's a lot of injuries there. Bron's still playing like Bron. I've never been a big Bron guy.
They
personally.
took the Celtics. They took Celtics out back a couple nights
They
ago.
did. Yeah, they did.
Had LeBron's over. Come on.
Celtics are just the Celtics. I don't see them slipping up. But if they are going to slip up, it's definitely going to be the Cavs.
So are you a Michael Jordan or LeBron guy?
Definitely Michael Jordan. The way I was going to describe this, if this ever got brought up, I think LeBron's definitely the better like athlete and like has the stats, but I don't think you can overlook the winning. Like Jordan just won. And if he didn't have to sit out 2 years and then take another retirement, I mean, he might have won 8 in a row.
Yeah. My glorious king, LeBron James, I can't argue that.
Yeah, I was going to talk about this too. I feel like TikTok is a bunch of propaganda for LeBron. Like, people are always talking about, I see edits all the time and shit. And, like, I feel like it's just propaganda at this point.
I love it, dude. 22-time All-Star.
And like
40 years old, starter in the All-Star game.
And he never took a break. Mm-mm. I mean, obviously, like, I hate when people talk about stats because like LeBron just played so much longer. Like,
right. It's hard to compare stats. It's
really hard.
Yeah, because it's almost impossible to compare their stats. Like, winning's the only stat you can look at. And Jordan kind of mops the floor with that. We've seen LeBron just played so long. 3 titles. Needs a 4th here. Bad.
Oh yeah, and I don't know how it's gonna happen. They kind of did that in 2020 though. Like they weren't supposed to win. They did.
And they had that J.R. Smith bubble legacy game, and that was sick. And then I want to touch on the dunk contest. What happened to the game I love?
Dude, I remember,
happened, bro.
I just remember watching Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon battle out like 2 years in a row.
That was like peak of my like sports fandom, like middle school, like when I first started and it started.
I feel like everyone knows where they were during those dunk contests too.
I know exactly where I was. I was in the living room of my house, standing this close to the TV. Just what are they gonna do next?
I remember I think I had some high school friends over and we were like playing basketball outside or somewhere else, like maybe at my buddy's house. And one of my friends was like, dude, get back to the house. Like, this is a fucking legacy we're watching right now. And I walked in right when Aaron Gordon did the, with the mascot on the swagway going like this.
Oh,
right. It was right when he did that dunk, and I was like, holy shit, this is crazy.
I had a phone case of that in middle school. That, like, where, like, they had, like, the apple would be, like, the basketball.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. I had the Aaron Gordon between both legs one.
Yeah. No, and I think the main problem is no one wants to do it, which is weird. Like, I don't see why people don't want to do it. There must not be like a great incentive to do it, but like, it's not like an all-star game, let's say like Pro Bowl, for example, will opt out because of injuries and shit.
Right.
Like, there's no injury gonna happen when you're dunking. I mean, maybe, but that's not why they're not doing it.
And it's just like who's even in it, dude? Stephen Castle is.
I'm gonna say, let me look. I have no fucking clue.
White boy rookie from the Bulls is in it.
Montez, or
I think so. Like, I don't even know. I can't even find it on social media. I'm on Twitter scrolling. There's nothing.
Maybe they haven't announced it yet.
Oh yeah, here it is. White fella from the Bulls, Montes.
Yeah, Montes.
Andre Jackson Jr. from the Bucks, and Stephen Castle from the Spurs. I mean, we're gonna see some high flying action there.
I mean, I'm hyped to see the Bulls guy. I love that. He's been playing pretty good, but
he's the favorite.
That'd be the only reason I'd watch. That's the only reason I'm watching it. And they only have 3 out of 4 right now.
Better. Yeah. We need a big one to come in. Get Zion.
But, and like the 3-point contest, I mean, Curry does it every year. Klay Thompson will do it. Like, they got the people for the 3-point contest. And, like, I mean, objectively, it's not as exciting as the dunk contest would be. Like, why can't they get the big name guys? Like, why can't
The
Zion do
3-point
it?
contest is more entertaining than the dunk contest anymore.
Easily. And like what they did last year, I thought that with Sabrina and Steph, I thought that was pretty
That was
cool.
awesome. Yeah, I watched.
They opened the betting for that. That was cool. I bet on Sabrina. I thought because she had pretty good odds, like plus 250 or something.
I didn't watch the dunk contest, and I watched that. 12-year-old me would be pissed if I ever said that. Like,
it's like I feel like it's also maybe they just ran out of like ideas because like I'm sure it takes a lot of like thought to pull off something cool, but like I don't know,
just do it again.
Yeah.
Let me see Zach LaVine do a windmill from the free throw line again.
Why doesn't he do it every year? Like I don't. At least he did it. Like Bron's never done it.
Yeah,
get Bron in there, man.
He would dominate.
And like, what's the worst that happens? You get embarrassed, like you miss a fucking dunk. He missed dunks in game.
I'm not a huge fan of the NBA. I tune in when important games are on and betting lines are good. That's about the max of my NBA fandom. When the Pistons are good, I'm really tuned in. When they're mid, I'm just kind of watching the box scores. But something I'm very in tune with, and I know you are too. We got Royal Rumble next weekend.
Hell yeah. I'll be there.
You're going. You're going to be there. We have boots on the ground at Royal Rumble from Personal Foul Podcast.
Yeah, I'm really excited. You got obviously a lot of storylines. This is the first year I feel like since I've gotten back into it since like 2021 that like there's a lot of people that can win it. Obviously John Cena, if they go that route, CM Punk. You even got people like Jey Uso that like maybe don't seem like they could win it, but also like I wouldn't be mad if he won it. Like that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. But as long as nobody from the new bloodline doesn't win, I'm cool. Run it.
Yeah, and they're all gonna be in it.
Like, and if
it's gonna be a packed. Like this is also another year where I feel like it's gonna be easy to get 30. Usually, there's gonna be some jobbers that come in, like 2 or 5 of them. But this year, I feel like there's so much talent, especially on the men's side, that like there's gonna be so many spots, and they're gonna have to leave some people out.
Is this the first big pay-per-view of Netflix? Is it going to be on Netflix or is it on Peacock still?
I feel like it's. I have to look that up. I feel like it's still on Peacock.
Okay.
But this will be the first pay-per-view during the Netflix era.
Okay, and they're coming swinging during this Netflix era thing.
Yeah, it will be on Peacock.
It will be on Peacock. Okay, that's good to know because I would have tuned into Netflix. That's I don't watch SmackDown. I can't lie. I do tune into Raw, but
no, and I feel like things like The Rock being there, or just like I think that all the titles are pretty much going to be up so far. I'm sure they'll announce more next week, but yeah,
dude, these next couple months at WWE are just the elite of the elite.
Road to the WrestleMania,
dude, and we're here. We made it.
I don't want John Cena.
I don't want him to win Royal Rumble.
Cold take. I mean, I say that, but like, if I'm there and he wins it, I'm gonna be hyped. I'm gonna be excited.
Yeah, you have to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if he wins, there's no elimination chamber.
Yeah.
That and you know how John Cena gets the elimination chamber.
I could see him getting out there and just barely losing, and then even like the elimination chamber, I could see it, like getting down to him and someone else and losing. Mm-hmm. And then like they kind of make a storyline off that because I think he will get that last title. What's it, 17? I think he needs one more, but I could see him. I definitely think they'll put a belt on him eventually. I don't know what it's gonna be, but
probably really cold take because I wanted the Cody Rhodes so bad when Roman had it for so long. Now I'm over Cody Rhodes and want Roman to kind of step back up, but a guy who I want to just see beat the hell out of Cody Rhodes is Randy Orton, dude. He's turning back into that heel.
Yeah.
And dude, that's the best Randy Orton. Randy Orton.
Yeah, he's been on the shelf. I think it's a work, but he's kind of been on the shelf after Kevin Owens hit him with a pile driver.
Right.
But he should be coming back anytime. I could see him come back at the Royal Rumble, maybe.
Yeah, so 2 questions for you here. I'll answer my own question because I'm excited to say these. Well, three questions. 3 people who you want to see win.
Okay. So obviously John Cena, like I said, I'd be cool with that. CM Punk, I think, deserves a shot at main event at WrestleMania. And then I think I'll stick with Jey Uso because he's kind of just been like a developing star. He actually has a title shot tonight on Saturday Night Main Event against Gunther. So I think he's been elevated to that. Also, like a guy like LA Knight would be really cool. I know has his beef with Shinsuke Nakamura, but I'd like to see any of them win. Yeah.
So I had very similar. I had CM Punk. Randy Orton was my one I didn't have, and then I had a yes but no. That's what my notes say. John Cena, because I want to see him in the chamber. I want to see him in the chamber. Like you said, I'd be pumped to see him win. It's so funny, dude. So all guys go through that phase where WWE's the shit.
Yeah.
Then
I want to say we were like early teens. I want to say maybe a little younger. Around high school we stopped, I think, but before that, I remember coming home every night. We go to Barnaby's and then we come home and watch SmackDown.
Dude, I remember every time we'd hang out, it was WWE, and we hung out like it was every weekend. It'd just be WWE.
Oh yeah,
WWE the video game, and then wrestling, and me and you just going to war.
And this stretch right here was always the one, because obviously we wouldn't buy all the pay-per-views because we didn't have money. But we could always convince the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, and then
that was our
Elimination Chamber. Elimination Chamber was my birthday, so we'd always get that too.
Hell yes, those were some of the best times. Just
and especially like Haida, like John Cena, Randy Orton, and CM Punk, like
dude,
some great times.
My biggest question to my dad all the time: Dad, are we going to the Islands for the pay-per-view? Then he'd say yes, and I'd be fired up. Go find my Ryback
my dad would
shirt.
always be like, "Well, if you mow the lawn, maybe we'll buy it." And I'm like, "Okay." So I'm excited to watch WrestleMania.
Who are your can't wins for this?
I guess that's a good question. I feel like if Gunther loses the title, he would be one of the main people to win it. I don't want him to win personally because he doesn't need it, right? Like he can just go back into the title instantly. Also just like people like Finn Balor, like people that are definitely in that conversation, I don't think they deserve to win it. Like there's better stories to tell. And kind of like you said, like if Solo Sikoa won it, I don't know if I'd watch. Like I wouldn't be happy.
Yeah, I had pretty much like the same kind of story you did. Anybody from the new bloodline.
Yeah.
I don't want to see The Rock win. I'm over his little run, come back, leave when there's a big opportunity. I get it. He's one of the biggest names in WWE, but I'm not a fan. So I had anybody from new bloodline, The Rock, and then like a Drew McIntyre. those storylines kind of suck to me.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre just doesn't wow me like he once did. I remember when he was like 3-man band Drew McIntyre, then climbing. That was fun. But now that he's just kind of chilling at the top, it's just...
Well, I feel like a lot of the, like, back in the day, heels won the Royal Rumble, right? But, like, recently that hasn't been the case.
No.
And I feel like there's not really a good candidate to win it on the heel side. Like, no one that anyone would even care to see.
Oh. The last 2 years, the Royal Rumble was perfect to me.
Yeah.
Last year, especially, fantastic. You kind of knew Cody was winning, just how the storylines were, and it was kind of the only big storyline in WWE.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it fun. Like, when you like know it's going to happen, but then you're still kind of on the edge of your seat, like, they could ruin this whole thing right now.
One thing I just thought about, I could see even like Logan Paul like get into. I don't think he'll win it, but like I could see him getting like that top 5, top 2. Yeah, and like making people believe he might win it. I think he declared. But...
Oh yeah, I think I saw that on Twitter earlier today. Also, he's been big face in the media right now, just doing what he does. That Theo Von thing was funny. That
was
him and Theo Von had a 20-minute beef on Twitter, and then it was all resolved. But who are your surprise entrances in this one. Who do you want to see?
So I think on the women's side, there's a lot. Like people are saying, like AJ Lee's going to come out. Charlotte Flair actually just announced today she's coming back for it. And then they just did that whole TNA merger. So a lot of those guys will be. I think like I don't know if you heard of Joe Hendry. Yeah. He's a champion now in TNA. I think he's definitely going to be in it. They're even saying like some of the Hardy Boys might come in.
That's number one on my list right now. Jeff Hardy with the TNA merger.
Jeff Hardy, dude, that'd be awesome. I would love to see that. Him doing some crazy shit. I mean, he's got to be old now, right?
Yeah, well, he was just on a podcast, the WWE. What's that guy's name?
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
I know you're talking about. I see him on TikTok all the time.
Yeah, like something VV or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wants it. He said he wants to come back. So, yeah. So, I had Charlotte Flair, AJ Lee. Like those will be fun to see. I'm pretty sure those are going to happen with as much they've been talking about. But the ones that haven't been seen are the better ones that you get excited for, like a Jeff Hardy. Dolph Ziggler's with TNA right now. That'd be
cool.
Sick.
Him come back, yeah.
Big E coming back with the
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
I really do think. Thinking about it now, I think he will definitely be there.
Yeah, with the New Day stuff going on, and just to kind of bring them back up to the top, and then the big one that everybody wants that probably won't happen. I feel like we've been talking about this for the last 2-3 years. Matt Cardona coming back.
Dude. I remember last year thinking him and MJF were coming, but
and then, yeah,
definitely not MJF. But dude, if he came out, especially to on the radio, dude, I would fucking lose it. Woo woo woo! I'd be so fucking hyped.
That was sick. My favorite feud in WWE history was him and Kane when he was in the wheelchair.
Yeah,
they feuded.
Dude,
gosh.
That was definitely like our favorite wrestler. It was for me. It was always him, Santino, and I was a big Evan Bourne fan.
Oh, dude, yes, Evan Bourne and Kofi Kingston, Airborne.
Yeah, all the time.
I remember I was definitely Zack Ryder, Kane, and then gotta love Randy Orton and CM Punk. CM Punk's like my GOAT at the moment. He's just an elite of the elite.
Yeah, when I was young, I was always like, obviously I respected the big names, but like I loved the people fighting for the U.S. title and the Intercontinental. Right. I love those guys.
Right, when it was like when Cody Rhodes was like dashing Cody Rhodes and all that. I loved Cody Rhodes, and then he left, and I was kind of like, well, shit, the Dolph Zigglers who could never win a title match, and I'm just like, Jinder Mahal was a big one that I'm like, dude, come on, make the push. Then he made the push, and I was like, oh, this sucks, but
I feel like it's good when the titles change a lot.
Yes,
because when they get held on like Roman did, it was like,
I feel like that's what we've seen for the past 5 years. It is literally the past 5 years. WWE has been 2 title holders, and I'm just kind of over it.
Yeah,
all right, I feel that. Let's go back to talking ball. What we know. To the max. Let's go college football playoff. I have a very sour taste in my mouth about what happened.
Yep.
But you got to talk about it. I think something has to change with the playoff format.
Yeah, I agree with you. So what I've heard a lot of people saying is just like even shortening it to like 8 teams. So I have what they actually should do, and then what I would like to see.
Okay.
So I think with how it is right now, and like you give the conference champions buys, whatever, I think the buys have to go. I think that's kind of unanimous. What I would like to see is they expand it even further, but kind of do it like March Madness, where you add every conference champion. So like, because right now it's like they add the conference champions like Penn or Boise and Arizona State, and like you go into those games like, oh, there's gonna be a blowout, whatever. But I think if you added every conference champion, like imagine like Ball State winning the MAC, getting to
like
go
basketball
and
style.
like and like even if they're a 16 seed against Ohio State, it's like they don't have a chance, but like who knows? Like maybe they pull off the crazy upset. And I think if you add teams like that, that'd be really cool. What I think they would do though is just don't do the reseeding bullshit. Like just keep it 12. Just let whoever get the bye. Because you give teams like Boise and Arizona State the bye, it's like Ohio or now Ohio State, like trying to think what team it was. Oh, Texas. Like, obviously they worked themselves in that 5th spot, but they kind of had a cakewalk. Clemson, who frankly didn't deserve to be there. And then Arizona State gave them a good game, but like on paper, they should have killed them.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like, what I think's going to happen is just the kind of bye is going to be reworked. It's going to stay at 12. But like you said, what I'd love to see is that when your conference get in, because you got P4, G5, so that's 9, and then 3. I mean, my math is terrible there. So you got, Power 4, G5, that's 9. Expand to 16, that's 7 more field teams. That's a long tournament, and I think that's a downfall of this as well, as the tournament's already long. National Championship didn't get as much buzz because the NFL playoff. And I think that's something you have to rework. I don't know if that's starting the season early, which sucks because kids aren't in school by week 1 regardless. Like, I played college football, and I know our first game was before class started, so I'd have to get to school. My summer was cut short. Every year I was still in school last semester, but every summer I was cut short for me because of football, and it's going to just get worse. Most guys at those big schools are staying over summer. They're not going home like we were.
Well, ideally, what they could do is work with the NFL to figure out a way, but I don't think that'll ever happen. NFL's kind of stuck doing what they want to do.
They're a monopoly at this point of football.
Yeah. And what they could do is just start the playoffs a week earlier, because there was a decent break between conference and playoff play. Maybe even just take a regular season game out. I know no one wants that, but like, if they want to do these long playoffs, it's kind of what they have to do, right?
Yeah, it'd be hard to expand as much as everybody wants it for the G5, P4, just conference champ win, get in. I mean, I've seen a lot of people say that's what they want, but then how do you schedule this? Because we're still playing. There's still another week or 2 left of college football if we do it that way.
Yeah.
And
I think they can't expand past 16. Like, if it gets 16, they can keep the 4 weeks, but you can't really go past that.
And these kids are getting work to hell as it is. And they're trying to go to school. It's not the NFL where their jobs to play football. It probably close to is at that level.
Yeah. I mean,
but they still got to stay eligible.
Yeah, Notre Dame and Ohio State, 16 games this season.
That's
like that's a lot of fucking games.
I was talking to Justin earlier. I was talking to Justin earlier in the week, and I'm like, dude, my season was done early December, late November. Like, we're almost to February, and you just got done. And he's like, yeah, it was a long year. It was a long year.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I've been done for 2 months.
Obviously the fans want to see that, but yeah, like the players, like, that's hard on them.
Yeah, they got a these are kids we're talking about, dude. Like, like they don't get, like, Justin plays for Notre Dame, my good friend. I saw him once over Christmas break because he had 2 days off for Christmas, and me and the fellas, we were hanging out all the time. You were there a couple times with us. We were daily hanging out over break. He's there once just because he's got to go win a national title. But
and he's got to stay safe. He can't get his body hurt or anything, so he's got to.
And just, I think there's got to be a way to where you take out the bye and you make it to where everybody gets in. But that would kind of suck. I mean, you don't want to see no offense to your boys in Muncie, but you don't want to see a MAC team just get derailed by a Big Ten SEC or like a Conference USA team. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be hard.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's why I think 16 team would be cool, because it wouldn't change the weeks. You could still have the 4 games. You get rid of the byes that everyone hates. And obviously you'd rather have it be those like at-large teams.
Yeah, you want the blue bloods in there.
Yeah, but I do think if there's like this, it's hard because everything's just kind of objective. Like,
100%.
People think Alabama deserved it. People thought SMU deserved it. Like, no one's ever going to totally agree on a playoff list, but I mean, you just got to try your best to get the best 12 to 16 in there.
Right. I think the playoff this year, the teams were right. I think the seeding was a little off. I think the 1 seed got the worst draw, which they did essentially. Like, the best team got the worst draw, and that sucks. Should Ohio State have to play Oregon in the second round? I don't know. Like, that's the hard part, is just the seeding's really tough in that situation when you're guaranteed buys to conference champs, and that's what makes it hard. I kind of want to go through. Yeah, no, it's tough. And then if you expand the timing, like we talked about, it's going to be a long process. It's going to take a while to figure out just how it took so long to get to 12 at this point. Yeah. But I feel like sometime in our lives we will see a bigger, more organized one. I don't know when, but at some point they'll figure it all out. Just kind of going through these teams and what we saw. It was fun. I love NFL ball, but college football, there's just something special about it that it's fun. That's where real diehards come into play everywhere, and we see it firsthand being from the South Bend area. Like the Notre Dame diehards, we're two of them, and
they're everywhere.
Yeah, it's college football is the best for that. So just some stats I have. Let me pull up the bracket so we can talk about them in order, because I don't remember the exact seeding. We will go to X the great. Okay, no, not what I want. Not what I want. Of course, it's not going to do what I want. Everybody's posting the reseed now. And okay, here we go. All right. We'll start with the 12 seed in Clemson. My notes for Clemson, they're going to be back. Oh, that's my take.
I mean, Dabo's never going to shut down.
No. And they got Cade Klubnik coming back. That dude just put it all out there this year, and he's a Heisman favorite now, and I think he's going to be back. Any takes on Clemson from you?
Yeah, kind of like what you said. I think they'll definitely be back. Dabo doesn't go down too easy, especially in an ACC that's kind of wide open at this point. I mean, obviously you got like Miami and SMU, but I mean SMU wasn't expected to be up there. Wasn't this their first year, I believe, in the ACC?
First or second, very young into the ACC.
But yeah, I mean it's wide open, so I think Clemson's going to stick around.
Yeah, I think, and especially if they start dipping their toes into the portal. I know Dabo's kind of against that, but you got to keep up with the times now, and if they do, they're going to be killers. And then SMU, let's see, where are my notes on SMU? Oh, my notes here in highlighted actually. SMU's quarterback Kevin Jennings stunk. Just tough game. 3 picks early. Penn State just dominated them on every phase of the ball, and it looked like they didn't belong, but then you see how they were in the regular season. They definitely belong just from their season, but they could not keep up with Penn State.
And that's the problem with the seeding that we're talking about. It's like these teams definitely deserved it, but when you got 12 teams, like the jump from top 5 to top 12 is pretty significant. And yeah, Penn State was easily a top 5 team on paper, and facing a team like SMU, like that's the result that's going to happen 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, I think the whole world, other than SMU fans, had Penn State winning that game on the books. So
yeah.
I mean, and Penn State just took it. That game was hard to watch. It was hard to watch. And then we got IU at the 10 seed. I was kind of a IU bandwagon there for a little bit with my girlfriend going to IU, a lot of my buddies being there. I was there a lot during the regular season watching games with them, having a good time going out with them. Bloomington was a madhouse during the season. It was fun.
I bet they've never seen a damn team like this. So
it was fun. We went tailgating a couple times and then went to Upstairs Bar in Bloomington. Man, that place was awesome the whole time. Any game. They have a $3 special on the Hoosier lager they have over there during game days.
Hell yeah.
We had a great time watching IU play the regular season. But my notes on IU for the playoff is IU and Coach Sigger Kings at making scores look closer than the game was.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I was at that game. The IU kicker, they got that first onside. They almost got the second one, too.
Right.
That dude has it down to a science. His onside was brilliant.
Yep. And I think they were good. I think they belonged 100%. But they made a lot of games look closer than what they were. Mm-hmm. And then made closer games look wider than what they were.
I better say, if you look just purely at the schedule, like a lot of those teams, it looks like they blew them out. Right. Those games are kind of closer when you look back at it.
But some are nail biters and they're scoring late kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even in the Notre Dame game, Notre Dame killed me.
The whole game, yeah.
There was I wasn't worried for a second of it. Like, there was no concern at all. But then you look and it's a 10-point game, 7-point game. It's just, he can make a blowout look close and a close game look like a blowout. It's kind of impressive how he does it.
Yeah.
And I just can't take away from that. And then Tennessee at the 9th seed. I just kind of had them as forgettable.
Yeah, definitely.
Very forgettable. When I was looking, I was taking my notes and I had them all in order, like doing it in my head kind of thing. And I was like, I'm missing 9. Because it was Tennessee. I think Nico is going to be a stud for them next year.
Yeah.
Their quarterback is a freak.
They'll definitely be around. Obviously, stacked SEC, like, gonna be tough to get that moment where, like, you're not forgettable anymore. You're actually there to play.
Right.
And obviously getting against Ohio State first round, very unlucky. But
yeah, they got Sam Pendleton coming too from Notre Dame.
Yep. Big transfer.
Hopefully he hoops. Yeah, I just think they were kind of forgettable. Ohio State was just so dominant in the playoff, and they tried to take over Ohio State. Remember that little gimmick for we're taking over Ohio State? You look at the stadium; it's completely red, and I just kind of bit off more than they could chew there with Ohio State, which is reasonable. A lot of teams did that. So we'll go to 8, Ohio State.
What's there to say?
Man.
Not much.
$20 million roster.
Yeah.
They play like a pro football team.
There was a time if you look back at that first round, it was like, oh yeah, this Ohio State Oregon's going to be a shootout. And then, yeah, they just blew out Oregon. And from there, it was like, yeah, they're just going to walk into the national championship.
Yeah. When they beat Tennessee, I was like, shit. Like, here they come. And then I was watching the Ohio State game with Chungus, and he's a big Michigan guy. So he's like, dude, we're putting the house on Oregon, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, I'm in. What happened in that game, halftime, me and the boys left to drive to New Orleans because the game was over. We drove to New Orleans to watch Notre Dame play. But that's how that game ended. We were this game's over. It wasn't even fun. Just Ohio State, $20 million roster, juggernaut. So 7, the Irish. What a run.
Went a lot farther than I thought. Obviously, most Notre Dame fans kind of just on that pessimistic side.
Yeah.
After we beat Georgia, I really did think we had a chance to make it. But going into that Georgia game, I was not expecting much. I was just happy we were there kind of thing. But yeah, after we beat Georgia, I was like, okay, we can beat Penn State. We can get to the title game. I don't know if we can win it, but we can get there.
Yeah, no, going back to that Georgia game, me and the boys, we were talking, and I think I texted you to go with us. I was like, we're packing up.
It was before it got delayed.
Yeah.
At first. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we discussed it, and then you went back to Ball State, right? Or was it?
Yeah.
It was that day. Yeah. You had work. So me and you like slowly discussed it, and then we mentioned it to the fellas. Hey, this game got delayed. What are we going to do? Most electric atmosphere I've ever been a part of. I've been to a lot of drive
to you guys, man.
16 hours there and back in a 2-day span. It was tough, but it was worth it. It was so worth it. I've been to a lot of Notre Dame games in my life, and that's A1 for me so far. My second fondest Notre Dame memory is when Le'Veon Bell hurdled 2 Notre Dame players. That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in Notre Dame Stadium. But now that game was the best football game I've ever attended in my life. It was incredible.
It was a really good, because it wasn't like it looks like we won by 13, so like kind of looks like a blowout, but like, that game was pretty close, and there were a lot of electric plays.
The fourth quarter of that game, no one sat down. You couldn't hear the person next to you. It was so fun. What an experience. And then they get the win. It was fantastic. Let's go to 6, Penn State. Thank you, Penn State, for allowing Mitch Jeter to hit that walk-off and send us to the Natty. But my notes on Penn State, Abdul Carter and Tyler Warren are dogs.
Oh yeah, they should both go in the first round this year, easily.
It's hard with the tight end first round thing. I know that's like a big no in the NFL, which oddly we saw it with Michael Mayer kind of thing. I mean, Brock Bowers was an outlier just because his dominance. We saw it with Michael Mayer. He was the best tight end in football his senior year. We seen him fall to the second round, first pick of the second round, but still, Tyler Warren's that guy.
Oh yeah, I mean, and the shit they were doing against Notre Dame, like the Wildcat shit. I mean, like every time we went back
at quarterback, I'm like, dude, what are we doing? And we're not stopping
it was
that.
just he was the only one really on Penn. I mean, the running backs did okay, but we couldn't guard him. He was the only guy. The wide receivers didn't even catch a damn ball, and he just caught everything. He was doing it all for Penn State that game.
He got spined on like Penn State sideline, their 40.
Yeah.
He caught a little out ball and got spined by somebody.
I thought he was out. Yeah.
I was like, not rooting for an injury there, but I'm like,
yeah, not
a bad thing. Kind of,
yeah,
pops right up. One of the hardest hits we've seen, and he just gets up, and he's back. He's lined up at quarterback in the shotgun. What the hell? It's hard to defend. But I will say about Abdul Carter,
he's a dog.
He owned the Notre Dame game with one arm.
Oh yeah, he was hurt, wasn't he?
You seen him line up? His arm was his arm was like stuck. He was playing with one arm. And that first quarter,
he was dominating.
It's like he was the only player on the field for the first quarter. Like, what are we doing? If the Browns pass on him at 2, oh boy, I'm throwing a fit.
You guys should get him. I mean, no hate to Travis Hunter, but Abdul is going to be the next J.J. Watt, I think. Like, he's that good.
And then Drew Aller, too. Let's get him next year. Send him to Cleveland. Ohio boy. Get him home.
He's inaccurate, man.
Yeah.
No, besides that last pass against Notre Dame, but...
Yeah. Thank you, Drew Aller. Shout out to Don Schuler. The man. Yep. Was that a Don Schuler or Leonard Moore?
I think it was.
Was it?
It might have been Moore, actually.
One of them. Shout out both of them. Hell of a playoff run.
I was just hyped when it happened. I was
Way to step up a Don Schuler and Leonard Moore in the playoff. BMO, we're going to miss you. But no, Penn State, they're going to be good next year. That two-headed monster in their backfield, along with Drew Aller, they're going to be a serious problem.
Sure.
Texas, I think Quinn Ewers screwed himself, dude, going into this draft this season.
I mean, they're still saying he might go to Notre Dame in the transfer portal. He might back out, but I don't know.
He's declared right now, right?
Yeah. Currently.
I wouldn't mind him at Notre Dame. Notre Dame's had a lot of success with the one-and-done quarterback. I would love to see Angeli and Carr, but wouldn't mind Quinn Ewers.
I wouldn't mind at all.
Texas is done with him. One thing. So my notes. Texas should have lost to Arizona State. Their kicker's shit, but Michael Taft is the man. He rules. That's what my notes say.
Dude, that Texas kicker during the regular season was lights out. Like, he had the whole look too. Like, looked like a funny guy.
Dude,
I mean, he was playing good, and then just shit the bed. I think he got benched too, or maybe he was hurt.
Yeah. No. Michael Taft, though, he's coming back too. He's gonna, dude. He's one of the hardest hitting safeties in football.
He's fucking good.
From walk on to All American, that's just great story. Shout out that guy. I think Texas will be good. It's Texas. I mean,
they're
not going to fall off. Yeah, they'll be around for sure. Arizona State. Cam Scatterbo's a bell cow. Just bell cow workhorse.
I hope he makes it in the NFL.
That's
not a lot of people think he will, but I'm really holding out that he goes to the right team and
if he goes to the right spot, we've seen him do it all. Literally catch passes, run the ball, throw the ball. He can do it all. He's
honestly like a budget McCaffrey at this, or at least how he played in college.
Right. I seen some comparisons to him and Will Compton on their NFL life, like just kind of bounce around, be a teamer. Yeah, I think he'll be on a team. Like, don't get me wrong.
I think he'll definitely get drafted.
But people are saying Arizona State's gonna be back. I don't even know, dude. I don't keep up with Arizona State at
I mean,
all.
they
I don't
were
know if
supposed to
Lovett's
be.
coming back, but
They were supposed to finish last in the Big
yeah,
12. Oh,
that coach is sick though.
Yeah,
That
fun to watch.
coach, dude, when he talks on like when he does like podcasts or interviews or stuff, I want to run through a damn wall. He gets me juiced, man.
Yeah,
he's sick. All right, let's go to Boise State. Ashton Jeanty, my favorite player in college football this year.
Yeah, he's a fucking workhorse. Damn dude, workhorse.
I hope he goes somewhere and just tears it up.
He's gonna be a first round draft pick. Yeah. Which, like, running backs at first round is kind of scary, but
yeah.
I mean,
we've seen Bijan and Gibbs have a lot of success.
I bet say if Jeanty could stay healthy, like, he could legit be the next Derrick Henry. Like, that's his ceiling.
What a snub for the Heisman. What a run they had. He carried that team. Dude, they almost took out Oregon. They come back. Oh my gosh. When they had that Oregon loss and he still went nuts, I was like, this team's good. Like, they compete. But
they definitely deserve to be in there, I think.
Yeah, no, 110%. They were going to be in no matter the situation. Field team, conference champ. I don't know, if they lose conference championship, it's tough. But
yeah,
Jeanty's just a freak. But when they lost to Oregon, I was tuned in because that's when, after that first game, people were like, hey, this Jeanty kid can play some ball.
He's a fucking baller.
So I'm like, all right, I'll check it. It was like one of those late night games I'm watching. And he just went off. And he's competing with the number one Oregon team in the country. And and then he got that Mountain West schedule. And good God.
God. So they kind of just ran through that.
Yeah. And then we got Georgia at 2.
What?
Rest in peace, Georgia.
I wasn't really high on Georgia this year after losing. Who they lose to? Ole Miss, Bama. Yeah, I mean they're obviously still Georgia, but yeah, like obviously they had to go to because they won the SEC, but they were whatever this year.
Won the SEC by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, with Sets and Bennett.
Yeah, I think. Man, I am blanking on Georgia quarterbacks. Carson Beck.
Carson Beck,
he's good. I think he'll find success at Miami, but
yeah,
I think with Georgia going to Gunnar Stockton next year, they'll be just as good. They'll be.
Yeah, they're still going to be Georgia. Don't get me wrong, but.
And then closing it out, the 1 seed Oregon. What a damn letdown.
Yeah. I mean, to not lose a damn game and then just get blown out, like, that's some top tier suckage, if you will.
That first time they played Ohio State, one of the most fun games we had all year.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I think that game and then Georgia, Alabama, best 2 games of the year, 100%. And then they go into this one. It's like, did they show up? They didn't, but
I bet they had a huge break too after the Big Ten championship.
Right.
I want to say it was like almost damn near a month, but
yeah, it's like that rest over rust thing. Like, what do you want to
do? That's why I feel like the Pies just need to go. It's like, because you could be like, oh well, they get a month to prepare, but it's like, do they? I mean, the best preparation is just playing.
Yeah, 100%. I think
tough situation.
Now that we're on college ball, I think you want to talk about Notre Dame and then close her up.
Sure. Yep.
So, if you guys are Notre Dame haters, it's a good time to close her up. We'll catch you later on in the week. But if you're a Notre Dame guy like us, stay. I got some good takes, some bad ones, whatever you think. Starting off with just a transfer portal, the struggle we're having right now. Just not a struggle. I mean, it's a good thing to have.
Not looking good. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a good problem to have. We've lost just since the Natty, Pat Coogan, Rocco Spindler, Ty Chan, and Sam Pendleton. Pendleton already went to Tennessee, like we talked about. I think Coogan and Spindler will find a lot of success. I've seen
one of them went to Michigan.
Well.
I don't know.
It was Spindler. He went on a visit.
Spindler, okay.
Yeah, he went on a visit. And then The non-O linemen entering are Jaden Thomas so far and Deion Colsey. Not big guys in the program, weren't like huge game wrecker wide receivers for us, like Bo Collins. Bo Collins didn't have the best year out of the portal that we thought he was, but still was a good player for the Irish. Wasn't a Jordan Faison who just came to life late in the season along with Jaden Greathouse. Jaden Greathouse, what a game in the Natty. Thank you to that guy for giving me a little hope late in that. No, he already said hopefully he's coming back with vengeance next year. Yeah, he said it in a press conference. What does that mean in the moment, kind of thing, you know? But he said he wants to be the best receiver in football. But yeah, good struggle to have with all these guys entering the portal. So the projected offensive line next year is looking a little very similar to what we've seen. Starting left tackle, they're projecting Anthony Knapp. I've seen reports on him moving down to guard for Will Black coming in and Will Black moving into that tackle spot. I've also seen so him being left guard is what they're saying right now, just being he was there all year, got hurt in the semifinal, and he's going to come back just because he kind of has that spot locked up at either guard or tackle. And then, so he's projected starting left guard. Got a little off topic there. Left tackle. Jeez, Al. If I could talk, we'd be a lot better. And then left guard is Billy Shrout. We've seen him play in every game till the injury against Purdue, and then he came back at right guard and played the rest of the season following his injury. It was very good. And then we got Ashton Craig. Excited for that guy to come back to Notre Dame. We've seen him. He beat out Coogan, who was a hell of a player for us. Coogan kind of took the media by storm with what he was saying and everything. All the great quotes, God, country, mother blanket Notre Dame. Yeah, no. And 4 quarters of FU football. So I don't want to use the F word on here. I feel like that. It's just as much as I use it in the real world. Yeah, 4 quarters of FU football. Thank you, Pat Coogan. That dude's going to be remembered forever. I have a 4 quarters of FU football t-shirt coming on the way. So excited for that one to get here. But Ashton Craig got hurt against Purdue along with Shrout. That ended his season. So we saw Coogan step up and ball. So Craig's the starting projected center, which good problem to have. Great problem to have.
Yep.
And then right guard, Charles Jagasaw. No, we saw Jagasaw come in. He's projected right guard. Seen him kind of struggle when he stepped in. He also was playing. He also was lined up at left guard against Abdul Carter when he came in against Penn State, which is tough. He got injured during fall camp, and then the first game he came back in was the Penn State game. Yeah. And when Knapp's been so dominant all year, and then Jagasaw has to step up and kind of replace against Abdul Carter in such a big game. Saw a little struggle, but got the job done. We'll see him fall to guard next year where he knows to play and will be good. And then right tackle is kind of that toss-up thing that we're talking about here with Emil Wagner. He started every game for us this year. And expect a battle there with Will Black coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Excited for Will Black. 5-star tackle, huge recruit. I think he's the number 19 recruit in the country right now.
Yep.
Boy, the Irish O-line's coming. Jeremiah Love, come on. Jeremiah Love, Heisman campaign with that offensive line coming in.
Get back to form. Yeah. I'm really excited, honestly, on the transfer portal additions we're getting. Obviously, we're losing some people, but I mean, look at guys like Devonta Smith from Bama. He's really good. I love the D tackles we got. We got Jared Dawson and Elijah Hughes. Those guys are going to be game wreckers for sure. But a lot of people are talking about the guys we're losing. I think the guys we're getting are just as good.
Dude, they're saying we're going to have one of the best receiver cores in the country next year.
Yeah. I think we got Pauling and Fields.
Yes. Huge guys. Fields for Virginia had 800 yards last year.
Yep.
Like, we're going to be fine. We're going to be good. As much as leaving, as many as are leaving, they're coming in. And Coach Freeman's not going to give up.
Yeah, it's really just going to be the quarterback issue, like we kind of mentioned earlier.
I'm excited for that issue too.
It just depends who's playing, and I do think Angeli can be good. A lot of people are saying Carr. I personally don't know a lot about Carr, but people are saying he's the real deal.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see that.
Between Carr and Jelly potentially bringing someone in, let them go to war. See who we got.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
super excited.
Yep.
And then we're bringing in a kicker. Man.
Yep. But is Jeter still here or is he gone?
I'm not sure what they're doing with Jeter, but I know they brought in Noah Burnett from UNC, and he can kick that thing. His field goal percentage last year was 71%. 71% kicker, long from 52, and then we're going to solve the extra point problem. He was 38 of 39 all year last year. We're going to solve it. So
yeah. Love to see that.
Yeah, so give me your projection. We're early. I mean, national championship was a week ago. What do we think Notre Dame? Are we back? Or are we partying like the 80s again?
I think obviously we got to see the quarterback problem, but I think if we got a guy who can play quarterback, I think we're up there. I think we're top 5 easily. Just got to focus on those regular season games. We love losing to bad teams early in the year. I mean, it's damn near been every year for the whole Freeman era. So I think next year, I think we got Miami and then A&M back to back, week 1 and 2. But I think if we get out of there 2-0, I think we can go all the way. Oh yeah,
yeah. And
going into Miami.
I love this offense that's coming. I love this defense they're setting up. Notre Dame has kind of set their team up through defense and offensive line. We know that. That's how it's always been. Just dominating defenses and win the trench battle. I'm excited for next year, man. I
think Love will have a breakout season.
Yeah, I've really kind of been out on Notre Dame football for a while. Like I'm a fan, obviously, but I've been invested this year.
So this year was the year that brought. Yeah,
I'm fully in. So I'm a big Browns guy. You know that. I read the articles. I'm doing mock drafts on my computer for myself, seeing where we fall and stuff. That's my obsession is the Browns. I'm starting to do it with Notre Dame now. I'm having fun. I love it.
Yeah.
So the heartbreaking losses are going to be way more heartbreaking than before. Oh, I'm juiced. That is the first episode. What a run, dude. Just chopping it up about ball.
Yeah, very good.
Want to close it out. Yeah. So we talked about doing a mid-podcast little segment with a viewer. We want to get viewers involved, as many as we have. I don't care if we have 10, if we have 1 million. Want to get viewers involved. So what we're going to do is we are going to post on Instagram and X, and we're going to have a wheel. Either one of us is going to create a wheel. I haven't talked about that yet. We will discuss it.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll get it off. We'll get the details all straightened out before our next episode. So we're going to post on our socials. If you want to be involved in the podcast, just drop your name, drop your @. We'll get it involved in the wheel. What we're going to do, spin the wheel before the podcast. We'll have that recorded so you guys see it's not just a shock for who's on. But we want you guys to give us your best sports take, and we're either going to grill you for it or we're going to agree, and we're just going to talk shop for a little bit. Hopefully 10, 20 minutes of talking shop about a good or bad take. Just get you guys involved, and it should be a lot of fun with how we do that and how we're kind of discussing how it should go. It sounds like a good idea, but we'll see how it rolls.
I'm juiced for it. I love just hearing crazy opinions, whether good or bad, and just especially random people. I mean, we might know some of them, but
even if we don't, that makes it better. Just
first impressions, you know.
Yeah, drop your best take, drop your worst take. Just give us something to talk shop about, and it should be a blast, man. Heck of an episode back. First episode back. Personal Foul Podcast. We are up and running. The boys are buzzing for it.
Happy to be here.
Yep. Hope you guys enjoy all the games this weekend. It should be a blast between the Chiefs and Bills. And we're just going to be, once this season ends, dude, it's just going to be talking what ifs. And that's the best part of talking football.
Fun to look at the future.
Yep. Probably got some draft talk coming up. Some Super Bowl talk. That'll obviously be a huge topic. NFL honors on the next episode. Got a lot of more stuff to talk about. And I just can't wait to do it with Ethan.
Yep.
Great episode.
Hell yeah.
Keep being personal and potentially foul. We'll catch you guys another time.
See ya.
See ya.